I took the kids, and Romina said, "Dad, this one's supposed to be crap. Why are we watching it?" And I said, "We're going to kill some time." Just so I apologized even before it started because I don't know how many dads apologize to their kids for taking the poor movies, but this one does.
I'm sorry for wasting your time, guys, but we're gonna waste time as a family.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. By the end of it, I stood up and said, "Guys, that wasn't so bad, was it?" I went, "No. And that's the thing. Like, I kept waiting for this movie to be shit. Kept waiting for it to be shit, and it just didn't become shit. It wasn't great. Like, I'm saying pretty much what you guys have probably heard if you've been listening to the same things I have. That this is a good crap movie. Like, this was entertaining.
It's a good crap movie.
And the more but having said that, the more you walk away from it, the more you think about stuff, the more you go, you know what, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, that wasn't very good.
So basically, this is the DC version of The Tower with The Rock.
Possibly, yeah.
I saw that movie where he played the guy with one leg, and the one where he runs off the scaffolding to jump over into the other tower to save his family, and everybody, like, it's a cool shot until people started being like, "How in the hell is the momentum supposed to allow you to?"
Yeah. I mean, it's just so there are problems there. But there's a couple of things I thought I would just briefly reflect on that probably other people don't reflect on without trying to give away any spoilers. Number one, I think it does pretty well at setting up the DC EU.
Yeah.
Like, I think...
No, correction. The DCEU is dead. Now it is the live-action DC universe.
Whatever it's called, this one has done a pretty fair job, right? So the JSA comes into it. It makes sense. Mm-hmm. What they do makes sense. It's consistent with what you would think would happen in the DCEU.
Right.
I think you know who's there.
Right.
Who's kind of pulling the strings. I don't know if you know, but most people know. Who sends the JSA in, right? That makes sense. They act pretty well. The JSA are a good point. They're not perfect, but it makes sense. How he gets his powers, I don't know if comic book fans would love it or whatever, but it makes sense in context of Shazam.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, okay, I get it. Like, it makes they brought a couple of characters that you will recognize from the movie Shazam, not any of the big ones, but okay, right. So and it just made sense to me, right? Yep. And at the ending, that famous cameo makes sense as well. If they didn't have that cameo, you would say, so what about what's his name? About surely? But the fact he turns up, you say, of course he would. Like, this guy, Black Adam, has shown insane amount of power. Yeah. You just wouldn't let that go unchecked. And of course, it doesn't go unchecked. So I felt it was strong in that sense. I thought it was good. It makes that's what other things don't happen. Aquaman kind of just happened. There's no reference to anyone or hardly any reference to anyone. You kind of think, well, is anyone paying any attention? Wonder Woman, all these crazy things happen in 1984 that never ever gets mentioned ever again and never referred. You know what I mean? This one does well. I think a lot of it's got to do with the fact it happens in one location in this ancient city, which I forgot what it is.
Cool. It's okay. I'll find out whenever I watch a movie.
But the fact that it really stays in that locality, it's actually, they do pretty well. They sell this place well. It looks like a real place in the Middle East. And the fact that Black Adam does his stuff there means that, okay, good, this makes sense. It all happens here. If he started going and blowing up the Eiffel Tower, whatever. But and I think I really liked the setting. I really liked where they set this thing up. It's very distinct. Nice. And so I thought that were just a couple of things I thought were really strong about the movie. And to your concern, Gift, your ongoing concern
did they make him an anti-hero or an actual, like...
All I can say is at the end of it, he was still a very dangerous character. And you felt...
good.
You felt at the end of it, this guy is trouble, right?
That's good.
He is a menacing presence. He is a menacing presence.
Can I ask you, is he playing the usual The Rock? You know, like how he's usually packaged. Because that would really annoy me.
I don't think he smiled the whole movie.
Oh.
And a lot of the film, a lot of his character, a lot of his growth or arc happens around his interchanges with the Hawk guy, who was he was good.
Aldous Hodges is always good. I'm glad he's getting his due diligence.
Yeah, the helmet looked stupid. I thought he had this big hawk nose. I just went, that looks stupid. I just hated that helmet. And he was good.
Yeah,
he was. His changes with Dr. Fate was also good.
Yeah.
That compensates for a couple of relationships that don't work, and you may have heard about those. I won't tell you what they are. I'll let you.
I haven't heard anything because I stopped looking. You know me. Once the movie comes in, I stop paying attention to the reviews about a month and a half, 2 months before.
But the relationship between Dr. Fate, the Hawkman, and Black Adam were good, and you saw stuff. But there are other relationships that didn't work that should have worked. And that's where a film loses a lot, I believe. One in particular went, you know. Most movies get that right, but they didn't. So look, it's a good, solid. I'm glad I saw it in the cinemas because I reckon if I saw it in any other form, I reckon I would have noticed a lot of the failings a lot more. I would have gone, oh my gosh, that's just stupid. But in the cinema, it does kind of wield you in. It is a big action. The opening sequence is very good. Like the opening action sequence, when things kick off, when Black Adam turns up. The second part of that, some of it happens in the cave, some happens outside the cave, was really good. Like they bring a song in which make perfect sense, and it was really good, and it has really good cinematic moments.
Good.
So I want to see what's going to happen with that character. I do want to see what's happening with the character. I don't know how he's going to go against Shazam, because the tone of this movie is so radically different from Shazam. Shazam is just so light. He is so much fun. I'm so glad he didn't turn up.
Yeah.
That
was what The Rock said. He said like the studio initially wanted Shazam to be in the film, but it just would not have made. He didn't want the stories to get twisted into each other, and it wouldn't have made sense to the story of Black Adam.
I think he was right. But I just don't know how he would plug in well with the other Justice League movies.
Yeah.
He has that dark sensibility to him that would make him work well with a Batman versus Superman versus Black Adam, I think. I don't know how he links in. He would go very well he would be a very good opponent for Aquaman. Yeah. Probably, I think he would smash Aquaman.
Right.
If I'm understood the powers correctly, which is almost on par with Superman. But character-wise, they're both really arrogant. They both think a lot of themselves. They're both big boys. It would be a contest, Jason Momoa versus Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
That would be great.
I have to admit, but I think you guys know more than me. It looks to me that the way they portray Black Adam, he looks like he's on par with Superman in lots of areas.
Well, there are times that he is as strong as almost as strong as Superman.
Yeah, it did feel that way. It did look that way. So, and how he would go against this really kind of this teenage boy in a man's body in Shazam. Yeah, I'm not so sure.
You know what? Maybe they're going to do like in the animated, like where Shazam and Superman goes up against Black Adam.
They are going to do that.
Let's remind our friends to please click on the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know when we have new videos out.
Subscribe!
Subscribe!
Die.